Welcome back to the best division in football with your boys Awthentik and The Beard. Man, these weeks are flying by, man. I feel like we just did the week 3 preview like literally yesterday, man. I'm glad to have Giants football back, though. That's all I can be proud of, definitely, man. We took that L last week, man, to them Cowboys, and now we got the Commanders headed over to Dallas to take on them Cowboys this week. They cannot get back-to-back NFC East wins. I hope the Beard's got a great roadmap for me today, man, for them Washington Commanders to be able to go out there and get a victory. Our New York Giants are going to be taking on the Chicago Bears. We'll be welcoming them to MetLife Stadium. And the Jaguars will be headed to Philadelphia to take on the Philadelphia Eagles one time, man. So this is going to be a very interesting week of football. Can't forget about tonight's matchup, too, man, with the Dolphins taking on the Bengals. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Looking for Joe Burrow to bounce back and get back to his regular form. But without further ado, man, let me bring in the best co-host in the country, man. The strong side to my left side. Y'all know what it is, man. My guy, your brother, The Beard, one time in the building, man. How you living, dog? Hey, beat Dallas. I like it. Throwback.
Look. They said Dallas week was dead here in DC. That's what they talk. That's what everybody been talking about all week long. They said Dallas week is dead. I said, nah, hold my beer, Slim, because Dallas week is not dead. Is not dead at all. I'm super excited. You know what I'm saying? Like, the black uniforms is coming out this week. The black, burgundy, and gold. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all that don't know, Awthentik and I, we play football at Einstein, and we had black jerseys, even though we were red and blue were our colors.
Now, remember when you first came in, the black jerseys was brand new. I was a sophomore, so I got to wear the powder blue kind of Houston Oiler kind of vibes for 1 year. I remember when we had them black jerseys, Coach Ashwell, rest in peace to Coach Ashwell. He had your jersey. Your specific jersey was the first jersey that summer coming into 10th grade. It was number 8. And he had it. He ain't even say, hey, guys, we're getting black jerseys. He just hung it on the office, of the coach's office on the back door, and we all saw it. We all went crazy. And I remember the dude who had that jersey. I forget his name. He was a hood dude from the city that came over to Einstein to play. He was a junior when I was a sophomore that year. And then you ended up wearing that jersey. So that was kind of wild. But the black jerseys, man, it reinvigorated definitely the spirits of our team, man. You remember we had maybe 30 straight losing seasons or something like that. And then that year we really turned it around on JV and on varsity.
It's just something about a black jersey that's like, you know, any given Sunday, you know, like it just feels like the hits are a little bit harder. The plays are a little bit faster. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited for that. And we got a great week of football starting with tonight. I mean, listen, it's crazy because I went back a little bit. I'll make this quick. I went back a little bit and looking at my tweets because I was checking up on my Jalen Hurts receipts.
Facts. I do it all the time.
And there were some tweets I had about how interesting it was going to be to see some of these quarterback and wide receiver duos who were drafted together in Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. And then you got, Tua and Waddle. And then you had Hurts and Devonta Smith. So it's interesting to see how these guys are literally rising to the occasion, and they're doing it together. And I think this quarterback class is super exciting to watch, and I think tonight's going to be awesome. And speaking of uniforms, they got the icy whites coming out for Cincinnati tonight.
Those look nice. I'm a big fan of those, man. And I've been begging that the New York Giants get rid of our all-white color rushes all week. I'm done with them jerseys. Let's use them as the away jersey or something like that. You know what I'm saying? People coming at me, y'all don't know swag, bro. You can't call it the color rush and show up in all white unless you looking like the Bengals looking like tonight, because that's a fresh all white uniform. And I think the tiger stripes, it helps it a little bit. You know, you think of the white tiger vibe.
Contrast.
You think of like the tiger on the back of my man Sylvester Stallone's jacket in Rocky, man. You know
Mike
what I'm saying?
Tyson.
What you know about that?
Mike Tyson.
The Hangover.
Hangover. And before I say some shout outs to everybody in the chat, Awthentik and myself definitely want to send out our thoughts and love to everybody who has been affected so far by the hurricane. It's definitely like something that's really difficult to deal with. So hopefully, people are finding a way and doing it together, community. Definitely want to send out our love and thoughts to everybody who have been infected by the hurricane so far. So Big shout out to everybody else who is watching us right now on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. We appreciate all the love and all the support. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up while you guys are here. Subscribe if you're not. And I guess we all know who the first person in the building is. It's going to be Coach Taylor. Big shout out to Coach Taylor. Yo, if you have not watched Friday Night Lights, the TV show from the first season all the way to the end, you got to do it. It's just, every time I see it pop up, I'm like, damn, this is so good. It's just
what made you think
good.
about it?
I was on Netflix the other night, and it is back on Netflix again. And I saw it, and I was like, man, I could literally just sit here and rewatch this all over again.
Yeah,
so good. Big shout out to Roman in the building. Appreciate you stopping by as always. Old man Rob is in the building. What's going on, Rob? Good to see you. Waterfly always holding us down. Big shout out to Waterfly. Big shout out to Stan. Sock Passe OGs. Authentic, got any jazz in the crate for our guy Duffy Sills?
I got some jazz flutes during that trivia time, man. We're going to be giving away another card tonight, man. We got a special Michael Strahan vibe for y'all if you a New York Giants fan. And the Beard and Over the Year Sports got some backup stuff for y'all if you a Cowboys fan or a Commanders fan or a Philadelphia Eagles fan. But yeah, we definitely got some jazz for you, my man, Stan. And I'm about to make you a mod right now. I forgot to do that a couple of weeks ago for you, man. So salute to you, bro.
Big shout out to the Formula Fitness. Say Caribbean folk always late.
That's not true, man.
It's not true. Let me tell you, they are on time when we're getting ready to get on a boat, eat some saltfish and bacon, head to a soca festival. I'll tell you that much. I know that firsthand experience. So big shout out to the Formula Fitness. Big shout out to Chris Peace. I appreciate you, Chris, sharing the stream on Twitter, showing us some love. Thank you, man. We appreciate that. Got to give a big shout out to Kai001 holding it down for the Dallas Cowboys in the chat. And Tony O. I want to say man?
That's Breaking Tackles podcast, man. Good to see you in the building, my G.
Big shout out. Thanks for stopping by. Ash Money in the building. What's going on, brother? Good to see you.
To Ash, man. I was in PTA Sports stream last night with Ash Money, man. Them boys was acting a fool over there, bro. We was laughing our asses off in that stream, man. But salute to PTA Sports, and I think the homie's name is Rob, his co-host. They do a good job over there, man.
Big shout out to my man. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets as he got Washington for the upset over Dallas.
I like that.
JJ Stangel in the building.
You like that? Do you like that, though?
I mean, listen, we're not going to give Kirk Cousins any more love than he
no
already doesn't deserve.
Cousins,
Big shout out to David in the building. Appreciate you as always. My man Lucas checking in from Australia says, let's go AATB fam. Appreciate
Big facts. What up, Lucas? How you living, bro?
We got Marquez in the building. Says, Authentic and the Beard. Peace, my guy. Peace to the chat. Appreciate
what up,
you stopping by.
Marquez is over there from William Steele's channel, man. And I believe he's a Cowboys fan, man, but he definitely digs our content. We appreciate you pulling up, my guy, man. Spread the word, too, fam.
Big shout out to Sebastian in the building. Sock Passe OG. Sock Passe. Afghanistan, baby. Oh, yeah, is in the building. Ben B is in the building.
Ball, you in the building. What up?
Monique holding it down for the Dallas Cowboys in the chat. She says she was there for the black jerseys intro. I'm a year under the beard.
Oh yeah, we didn't dispute that. What I was saying though is that he didn't get to wear the OG jerseys from Einstein, the powder blue joints. My freshman year, we got to wear those. And varsity was actually wearing powder blue that year too. And then when we turned into sophomores, they got us the black jerseys.
And big shout out to Ref the District. If you guys aren't subscribed to Ref the District, make sure you guys go check them out. I was in their stream last night. They are always doing an awesome job. So big shout out to Ref the District. Glock is in the building.
Salute the Glock one time in the building.
It is. And got to give a big shout out to Maria. We appreciate you so much,
What's going on, Maria? It's Cowboys week. Y'all know Maria's a Cowboys fan.
For the $20 super chat, he said, you guys do such a great job. I think she's just trying to be nice to me in case her Cowboys,
take that
give my Commanders a butt whooping. So we appreciate that, Maria. Thank you so much, as
Definitely
always.
Appreciate that.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody who's watching us, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Nothing but love for everybody in the building.
Facts, man. So we're going to start with this Jaguars at Philadelphia Eagles game.
That we are, my friend.
We'll run through that one real quick and then, get to our squads, man. I'm looking forward to this, man. Let's see what's good. right, man. Jacksonville Jaguars headed to Philadelphia to take on them Eagles. Big shout out to the graphics department one time, holding down them Eagles, man.
The graphics department, sound effects department. Shout out to all the departments.
Yo, shout out to the departments, man. Awthentik and The Beard doing big things over here, man. Jacksonville's coming into this game at a surprising 2-1, man. Philadelphia Eagles, one of two teams left at 3-0, undefeated. This is going to be a 1 p.m. matchup. It's going to be on CBS. Opening line has the Eagles favored by 7. I think that might be a little bit much the way the Jaguars have been playing as of recent. Last week, the Jaguars beat the Chargers, surprisingly, man, 38-10. They ain't just beat them, they beat they, yeah. And the Eagles took care of your Commanders, pretty much beat you all in the first half in that game, 24-8. The last meeting between these two teams, the Eagles beat the Jaguars 20-18 on October 28th, 2018. That game was in Jacksonville. This is going to be a major revenge game. Doug Peterson headed back up to Philly to take on them Philadelphia Eagles. He's got a statue out front of that stadium with Nick Foles. He said that he hasn't even really took a look at that statue. He said when he retires, he'll go over there and take a look at that statue. I'm going to start this one off, man. I got a couple of nuggets, man. I think that this matchup is a big matchup between the quarterbacks. We already know over here at Awthentik and The Beard, man, we've been talking about Jalen Hurts now for 2.5 seasons, talking about he's a guy, he's a gamer, he just got to get his feet wet, and it looks like that's exactly what he's been doing right now. Now, this statistic, I wanted to start the show off with this nugget right here. This statistic to me was outrageous. I saw this one from Ryan Clark on the Get Up, I believe it was, earlier this morning. Now, he talked about Jalen Hurts' statistics, which I'll start with some of these now. Jalen Hurts ranks second in total offense right now with just under 1,100 yards. He's third in passing in the NFL with 916 yards. He's fifth in quarterback rating. That one is very surprising, 106.5 on the year. Second in rushing yards by a quarterback with 167, and he's first in rushing touchdowns by a quarterback with 3. Jalen Hurts is also number 1 in yards per attempt. That's a very surprising stat. Now, this one right here had me. I took a dog. I was just like, this is absolutely crazy. Jalen Hurts right now alone, if you took away all the other yardage from any other player on his team and you just took Jalen Hurts, he'd be ranked number 11th offense in the NFL right now alone. If Jalen Hurts was an offense by himself, he'd be the 11th ranked offense in the NFL. 21 other teams have not combined for the amount of yardage that Jalen Hurts has. That is, if you still one of these people out here talking about Jalen Hurts ain't balling, just go take a nap. You're going to need a long nap because Jalen Hurts is doing extreme damage. I mean, I think this matchup, like, that's who we got to keep our eyes on. I'm expecting the Philadelphia Eagles to go out here and win, but we can't not talk about the man Trevor Lawrence, who I'd say very quietly under the radar, been playing some really good football, shined in his last 2 games. He's got 487 yards and 5 touchdowns with no turnovers and no sacks in his last 2 wins versus the Colts and versus the Chargers. But you tell me what you think about this matchup between these two quarterbacks.
I mean, listen, Jalen Hurts right now, I mean, he's probably, if I had to put a number on it, I'd say he's top 3 quarterbacks in the National Football League right now after 3 weeks.
Statistically,
and the Eagles,
that's what I had to say on that tweet earlier.
And the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. There's no questions there. Okay?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Now, I thought about this too, because I remember when we were getting ready to start the season off and it was Jacksonville and Washington, and everybody's like, oh, well, Jacksonville, that's a win right there. And I'm like, whoa, pump the brakes. This isn't the same Jacksonville team as last year, although they are performing at the rate in which I thought that they would perform last year. For those of you that don't know, I was big on Jacksonville last year. Jacksonville is going to be this and Jacksonville is going to be that. And Urban Meyer just threw it all away for me. So thanks, buddy. But listen, they got talent. They got talent, and Trevor Lawrence is showing you, like, and that's why I tell people, don't get so caught up in the word bust or, like after one season or after a few games, because, like we always say it, Peyton Manning led the league in interceptions in his first year. Okay. Yep. Like it's going to happen.
Even one of the biggest busts of NFL history in Brian Bosworth, it took them a couple of years to say that, right? And he came back. Yeah. He actually played some pretty decent football later on in his career, but they still labeled him a bust. Now they shifting the narrative on what a bust is. They calling Chase Young a bust. They calling my man Evan Neal a bust after 3 weeks of football.
Like, it's asinine. So let's talk really quick about that Trevor Lawrence, okay? Trevor Lawrence, 13th in the NFL in passing yards. 6th in the NFL in completion percentage, 8th in the NFL in touchdowns, 7th in the NFL in QBR, 6th in the NFL in quarterback rating.
No, I got to pause you because, like, this is where we just be in sync, right? You see how I started off the segment? I had like 5 or 6 statistics where my man Jalen Hurts is ranking right now, and you come back with the Trevor Lawrence ranking in the same way. Both these quarterbacks playing great football right now, man.
They definitely are. And you know, obviously we know that the Eagles can beat you on the ground. And let's not forget about James Robinson coming off of an Achilles injury, mind you. And with Travis Etienne there, James Robinson is 9th in the NFL in yards, 3rd in the NFL in touchdowns, 9th in the NFL in yards per game. He has the 2 longest touchdown runs of anybody else in the National Football League so far this year. So
really?
He is doing all of that.
That's probably the reason why he's so high up in them statistics, too.
There you go. Hey, you know, small sample size for a large sample. You know what I'm saying?
I can never remember that, but I'm with you.
I don't even know if that's the way I said it the first time, but we're going to run with it.
It's the confidence. It's the way you say it, not what you say.
Then Christian Kirk. Everybody was mad at Christian Kirk. Why are you mad at Christian Kirk? Because he got his bag. Don't be
why
mad
you
at the
counting
bag.
that man's pockets?
Don't be mad at the bag. What is he doing? He's 8th in the National Football League in yards, 2nd in the National Football League in receiving touchdowns, 8th in the National Football League in yards per game. So this offense for Jacksonville can do some things, but let's not forget about that Jacksonville defense. That Jacksonville defense is the #1 rush defense in the National Football League. When I saw this stat, I said, nah, somebody ESPN messed up. That's a typo. They're only allowing 55 yards rushing per game.
I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Ranked #1, you said, right?
Ranked #1. They've only allowed 165 rushing yards total through 3 games. That's it. They've given up 0 rushing touchdowns. You talked about Jalen Hurts as having the most rushing touchdowns of any quarterback.
Right.
They haven't allowed 1 rushing touchdown all season. They're only one of only 3 teams to do that so far this year. They're giving up 3.1 yards per attempt. And they are tied for most interceptions in the National Football League with 6, and they're 13th in sacks. So, I mean, like, literally, this is like, I would dream of having a team like this. It's just well-rounded. It's well-rounded.
Yeah, and I think you have to very well-rounded.
You got to put a lot of that on Peterson. You got to put a lot of that on Peterson.
Yeah. They made the right moves in the offseason too, man. You know, and I think people were skeptical when you see a team that was as bad as the Jaguars were last season, and you're like, they're going out here making moves in free agency, and this looks like a team that's in a straight rebuild. But bringing in Christian Kirk, definitely an upgrade to that offense. They brought in pieces with the draft and whatnot. Trayvon Walker showed his impact immediately week 1 against the Washington football team. This is a solid team. And offensively on that offensive line, man, they've been keeping this kid upright. You know, Trevor Lawrence only been sacked 2 times on the season.
That's crazy.
That's
Carson Wentz got sacked 2 times in a drive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Carson Wentz was getting
2 times
sacked
on a 1 play.
Yeah, pretty much every quarter last game. I mean, that was real ugly.
I think that this is an interesting matchup to me because I feel like, in a weird way, it's a great test for each team. Okay, so the Eagles are 3-0, best team in the NFC division, the whole conference. I think we can agree on that, right?
Yeah, record shows.
So this is an important game for the Jaguars. The Jaguars just came off of a win against the Chargers. You can't, go back down. We want to see how you're going to be able to do this consistently. Obviously, the Chargers were banged up. You're going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, who many people have #1 in their power rankings right now, if not in their top 3.
I'm scared to do that just because they're in our division. I'm scared to do that a little bit.
And then you got Philadelphia, who, now this might be the best defense that they've faced so far. They faced Detroit, Minnesota, and Washington. So this is a legit defense that they're going up against. So I think that there's a lot on the line for both of these teams, which, in my opinion, makes this a very intriguing matchup.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. And it just seems a bit like a team that's on the come up, and that's what the Philadelphia Eagles have been facing this first 3 weeks in the NFL season. We weren't too sure about Washington. We really weren't too sure about the Vikings, but we know that they have offensive pieces for sure. Another team on the come up, the Lions as well. And the Jaguars seem to be in that same bracket. I think that this game will say more about the Jaguars than it will the Eagles. The Eagles should go out here and take care of business for real. This is a team I think that's on the up and up as far as the Jaguars go. But I think the Eagles should go out here and handle business. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to blow the socks off the Jaguars or nothing like that, but I think they're going to leave away with a victory, especially at being at home with your quarterback playing this well. And Jalen Hurts showed you last week that he can find different ways to beat you this year with the disposal of the weapons that he has right now with A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, who had the huge game last week. I almost want to pull those up just to show those stats and remind myself one more time, because 169 receiving yards on 8 receptions. And this number wowed you a lot, too, was the 21 yards per reception. It's just ridiculous on 12 targets. And then Jalen Hurts, he only had 20 rushing yards in this game, I believe, on 9 carries. But look at that QBR, man, 85.8 QBR, 340 passing yards, clean day, 3 touchdowns, man. 0 picks, 62%. This is what you want to see out of a team that you think that can make a run, and not just a run in the playoffs, but really can make a Super Bowl run. In the past, the Philadelphia Eagles have been not known to get the quick start. And this season, they're off to the fastest start you could possibly get at 3-0. And now everybody else in the NFC East is going to have to be playing catch up. And, if we got one little thing about the Philadelphia Eagles we could look at and go, that's not their greatest kind of asset, it seems to be it's been the defense a little bit, allowing teams to score points on them. The Detroit Lions went in there and gave them a game in that second half, scored 14 points in the fourth quarter, and only ended up losing by 3, put up 30+ on them. So, I think that they're going to have an emphasis on that on the defensive side of the ball. And the one thing I wanted to bring up, too, was Brandon Graham. He was named Defensive Player of the Week last week for the Philadelphia Eagles. So he had 6 tackles, 2.5 sacks, a pass defended, and a forced fumble. He was all over the field. So I'd look for more of him and Fletcher Cox. We know in the middle of that defense, man, can slow down the run and really make things difficult on a young quarterback. And I'd look to see some of that happen in this game against the Jaguars. I'm going to go out here and pick the Eagles in this game. I think I'm pretty confident in the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it'll be they got the Eagles by 7. I think the Eagles win in a close game. Eagles haven't been tested in the second half outside of that Detroit Lions game. They've won the other 2 games in the first half, scored 24 points against the Minnesota Vikings in the first half, coasted to a victory, and I think their 24 points against y'all came all in the first half as well.
All in the second quarter.
So they've really been chilling. We always talk about that over here, them high fives on the sidelines. Yeah, hey, laughing, Batman capes around your boy Devonta Smith, all of those things. So for me, I got a couple more reasons why I think the Eagles are going to win. The Eagles have scored 72 of their 86 points in the first half in this season. Jacksonville has lost 17 straight games to the NFC. And also, the Jaguars haven't had 3 consecutive victories since 2017. So I know they look good. I need to see a little bit more proof before I think this Jacksonville Jaguars team is going to be somebody at the end of the year that we'll look to say, hey, maybe they can make a little playoff run. Right now, they're at the top of that division. I don't look for it to stay that way. We'll see, though. Jaguars are definitely on the up and up right now. Give me the Eagles in this game. I'm going to go 27-17 Eagles.
Listen, I will tell you this. If I was a betting man, and I am a betting man, I would take the Jacksonville Jaguars to cover whatever spread it is.
That's 7?
Right now, when I last checked, it was 6. It came down to 6.5. I would not be surprised if that line comes down to 5.5, maybe 5. Okay, Ooh. But I think the Jaguars make this a much closer game than I think anybody could imagine. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to win, though, right now. Make sure you tune in Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the parlay, just in case I change my mind.
Like I did last week with them Cowboys, and that ended up working out. Or no, not with the Cowboys, with the Eagles against y'all.
Yeah. 21-20, Philadelphia
21-20.
wins. 21-20.
That's a very close game, bro.
Yeah,
so the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to hold Jalen Hurts and this Eagles offense to 3 touchdowns. That's what we got. Okay. Maybe 2 touchdowns, 2-point conversion.
Doug Peterson decides to go for 2 at the end of the game instead of tying it and going to overtime, and the Eagles win.
Come on now. If only he was Brian Dable, he'd come away with the victory. You know what it is, man. All right, let's get into this game, man, against the Cowboys for your Commanders one time. All right, man. Washington headed to Jerry World, man, to take on them Dallas Cowboys, man, who looked very impressive with a backup quarterback last week, man. Cooper Rush definitely been doing his thing. Washington is entering this game at 1-2. The Dallas Cowboys are now 2-1 when everybody had them, written off, man. They thought the Cowboys was done after week 1. We probably ain't never heard no such situation in football history where a team loses week 1, loses their quarterback, and everybody writes them off. This game's going to be Sunday at 1 p.m. as well. The Cowboys are favored right now by 1.5. That's a little interesting right there. Last week, we talked about this. The Commanders lost to the Eagles 24-8. The Cowboys beat my New York Giants 23-16.
Spike don't care.
Last meeting, the Cowboys won. This score was ridiculous. You talked about typos. I thought this was a typo. The last time the Cowboys played the Washington football team, they beat them 56-14 in 2021, man. That still might be a typo. I don't even know if that's right.
I think that was like a COVID situation sort of thing going on. Yeah,
I like that. Nice little cover-up, man. Right now, man, the Cowboys offense comes into this game ranked 23rd right now, but they're 11th in the rush, man. Their pass offense is 24th, actually. Overall, they're 23rd. Scoring, their offense is 30th. They were the number 1 offense last year. That's a drastic drop-off. I don't want to jump the gun here. I know Dak Prescott is out, and we're only about 3 weeks through football, but that definitely surprised me, man. I think Cooper Rush, man, he's the guy to keep your eyes on in this game, man. He's got a chance to be the first Dallas Cowboys quarterback in league history to start off at 4-0. And in the NFL, that's only happened 27 times where a quarterback has started off his career at 4-0. Rush has not thrown an interception yet either, man. He's taking care of the football, and that's number 1 when you're talking about a backup quarterback. I know all about that with Mike Glennon and Jake Fromm coming in last year in support of my man Daniel Jones. To me, the key matchup in this game is going to be Wentz versus this Dallas pass defense, man, and that rush. We already know Micah Parsons, man, been all over the field, man, the first couple of weeks of football. DeMarcus Lawrence tied his career high with 3 sacks last week against the Giants. And Carson Wentz, man, he struggled. I think that the first half last week was probably his worst half of football in the burgundy and gold so far. He was 3 of 10 for 24 yards with 2 fumbles, lost one of those fumbles at the half against the Eagles, which that is just straight dismal. He finished the day 25 of 43 with 211 yards. Wentz, right now, he's got 14 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, though, in 8 career starts against the Dallas Cowboys. So he fares pretty well against the Dallas Cowboys. And, the Cowboys are coming into this game pretty much relying on their defense for the most part, man. I talked about this in the matchup against my New York Giants last week. Entering that game, they had allowed 1 passing touchdown to Tom Brady, 1 passing touchdown to Joe Burrow. They allowed 0 passing touchdowns from Daniel Jones last week. Right now, the Cowboys have held opponents to 19 points or less in each of their first 3 games. They have not done that since 1974. I wasn't even swimming in my daddy's ball sack yet, okay? That's a long, long time ago. And for those of y'all that don't know, Awthentik, I'm an OG. I'm 39 years old. That has not happened since 1974, man. So for me, man, we already saw Carson Wentz last week. Got sacked 9 times in that game. That just don't even sound right, okay? He's looking like Joe Burrow out here. To me, that's the matchup. Your offensive line is going to be the player to watch. It's 5 of them fools out there. They better find a way to protect Carson Wentz in this game. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know what the roadmaps is looking like, what the Nuggets is looking like. We got a 5-piece, 10-piece, or we getting a dub out here?
Listen. You said he looks like Joe Burrow. They've both been sacked the same amount of times, 15 times so far this season. 15 sacks so far this season. And I mean, you nailed it. I mean, obviously, the big question mark here is the offensive line for the Washington Commanders. And they might have to do something. You might have to play a little bit of musical chairs. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you gotta do the little puzzle making.
Y'all coming down the wishbone?
Dump the
double
box.
Tight, double tight wishbone.
You know what's interesting is I want to give a big shout out to there's a guy that does a radio show here in Washington. His name's Craig Hoffman, right? And he broke it down because so many people say, "Oh, well, if they're getting to him and the offensive line is just bad, why don't you leave somebody left in to block, like go double tight end and have them both block, or leave." He's like, once you do that though, you're taking away one of your eligible receivers. Right. Now, when you take away one of your eligible receivers, you have less people able to run routes, and it's easier for the defense to cover that. So that doesn't necessarily help you at all when it comes to the passing game. It kind of actually makes things a little bit more difficult. I thought that it was interesting that finally somebody pointed that out, out loud to people who just don't understand. But yes, that is a very big point.
You would think that that's just, an automatic. You would think,
Nothing's automatic when it comes to fans these days. But anyways, yes.
Facts.
So the offensive line, big shout out to my guy from Notre Dame. The first time when we signed him, I said Nick Gates, and everybody in the Giants community almost lost it. It is not Nick Gates, it's Nick Martin. Okay, so Nick Martin,
not only the Giants community. I was like, hold up, wait, what happened?
So Nick Martin has been taking first team snaps this week at the center position, literally taking first team snaps. So it'll be interesting to see if they can work him in at center, and then does that allow the guy who was playing center last week to move to guard? Do we move Cosme to guard and we put in Lucas at tackle? There's still a lot of questions up in the air on exactly how this configuration of the offensive line is going to be. I don't care if I have to go out there and play. I played center. For those of you that don't know, I played a little bit of center before they realized I had hands and put me at tight end. I was a long snapper too. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I digress. But yeah, the offensive line, I don't care who's out there, you got to figure it out. And I think a lot of that is going to come with, I think they need to run some more hurry-up offense. Okay,
you like that hurry-up offense.
I do like that hurry-up offense, and I think I saw some holes in the Dallas defense when the Giants were running hurry-up offense, and also I think that it makes things a little bit easier on Carson Wentz and the offensive line if they're moving faster. We're talking about quicker plays. Not the 7-step drops and the long developing routes and things like that. Let's get the momentum going in the right direction.
And just to throw a little thing in there with you, I saw that Bobby posted a video on Twitter from Talking Giants, and he showed this double move that we tried to run. It was a smash concept, and he showed the double move that that Darius Slayton tried to run, where he was pretty much wide open. He's got like 2 steps on the defender, but the only reason why we couldn't get it down the field was because of the protection up front didn't hold up. Daniel Jones you could tell he was looking at that route. Brian Dable probably told him, like, hey, you want to check for this route on this one. It's probably going to be open. We've been running smash concepts the first couple of weeks, and then they do this double move out of the smash concept, and we don't have the protection up front. So you're definitely right about that. You're going to need protection to be able to get depth from your wide receivers. That's just automatic.
And I think we've talked about this before about, Trayvon Diggs is a great player. And I never will take anything, even if you play for the Cowboys, I'll never take anything away from you if you play great on the field. Micah Parsons, fantastic player. CeeDee Lamb, fantastic player. They have tons of guys over there that can play the game of football. But Trayvon Diggs is I'm going to butcher that word. You can get Trayvon Diggs on a double move.
Susceptible.
Thank you. I stopped myself.
I heard it getting ready.
It was going to come out on a whole nother level of beardisms.
That was me with alma mater last week. I was like, I got it, but I was struggling for sure. I'm telling you.
So, you can definitely get to Diggs on a double move, but the only way that that's going to work is if you're doing a lot of those quick passes. And so you're almost like helping yourself out by the quick passes, allowing the pressure not to get to Carson Wentz, and setting yourself up for the double move. So it's important.
What that makes me think about? That makes me think about Peyton Manning, bro. Peyton Manning was a specialist at doing the 3-step drop and then giving you the little pump fake over the top, but then taking the extra 2 steps after the pump fake and then letting it go down the field. That's how you're going to have to bait them and set them up. You're going to have to get those short routes clicking first and then have them all come up, because I will say this, Trayvon Diggs was showing the Giants no respect last week. At times, I saw him 10 yards off of Sills, 10 yards off of Galladay. So that short route is going to be there. I hope Washington was looking at the tape and they're going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and you saw him on a couple of occasions, Trayvon Diggs, literally just go for the interception. There was that one play on the sideline. I can't remember who it was to, but it would have been a pick 6, obviously, if Trayvon made the play, but it ended up being a successful play for the Giants. Yeah. And so you kind of have to take advantage of his aggression sometimes when it comes to the way that he defends the wide receivers. And so all of this sounds great, but it doesn't mean anything if Scott Turner can't make up his mind to call these plays that are part of this style of offense that we're talking about that can possibly be effective against the Dallas Cowboys, and not even necessarily effective against the Dallas Cowboys, but not putting yourself in a position to lose out the gate. So it's super important that we do that.
We've seen that in 2 out of your 3 games. You're losing the game in the first half.
Easily. I mean, it's just it's Not even, it doesn't even feel like the first half, just the first quarter. Like, I mean, at least give me a field goal. You know,
Something.
like
Yep.
something. You got to do something. And you talked about Carson Wentz. I mean, there's a lot of players here for Washington that have been playing really well against the Cowboys in recent history. Carson Wentz, you talked about 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions in his career versus the Dallas Cowboys. Those are great numbers, especially for Carson Wentz, knowing how he can turn the ball over in his previous years. But let's talk about Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson has 363 yards from scrimmage against the Dallas Cowboys since
I
2020.
saw that nugget, right? And I was
You knew I was going to bring it.
I knew you was going to pull it. And I told myself, like, let me stay away from that nugget because Antonio Gibson, I'm not saying he's took a major, like, step back in his play, but he doesn't seem to be the same back. And I think it has to do with the play calling as well, that they're not putting him in the same position that they did last year. Is it because maybe they have a better guy at the quarterback position now? They're thinking they can place a little bit more emphasis on putting some weight on his shoulders now. But I think you got to get back to the run. You got to get Antonio Gibson back to what he's been doing his whole career outside of these first couple games.
Yeah, you absolutely have to. And that's going to lead me into my roadmap. And before we go into that roadmap, I want to give you one more guy. Jonathan Allen, 4 sacks for his Dallas in 7 games. So look for him to have a big game too. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the roadmap to victory brought to you by Awthentik and The Beard. Okay, number 1, plain and simple, run the damn ball. Okay, I want Antonio Gibson has to have 20-plus carries. 20-plus carries for Antonio Gibson. Run the damn ball. Dallas has given up
20.
Gives up the 10th most yards per game in the National Football League. They're allowing 136 yards per game. Okay, so Gibson, 20-plus carries. Run the damn ball. Number 2,
RTDB.
it's easy. It's very, very easy. Protect Carson Wentz. Dallas, as we know, it's easy to say. I don't know if it's easy to do. You know what I'm saying? But listen, Dallas, as we all know, is number 1 in the National Football League in sacks. They have 13 sacks. They're 3rd in the league in quarterback hits at 25. Washington has allowed 15 sacks, tied for first as the worst in the National Football League with the Cincinnati Bengals. You got to find elite players. Like, it's great to have a couple of everybody doing something, right? And you should have that every game, no matter what. But I need a guy. I need a guy on both sides of the ball. I need a guy to have a game like Devonta Smith had. I need a guy to have a game like Lawrence had. I need a guy to have a game like Micah Parsons has had at times during this year already. I need a guy, okay? So elite players and consistency. Don't go out there and show me Carson Wentz looking like MVP Carson Wentz on one drive, and then the next 3 drives looking like Carson Wentz in 2020. I can't have it.
I'm glad you remembered in 2020 because he was struggle mode.
I need some consistency, okay? Next up, stop the run, okay? You got to hold the Dallas.
You had that on there.
Oh, you got to have the Dallas Cowboys as a team under 100 yards, okay? Dallas is averaging 118 yards per game. They are doing that successfully with Cooper Rush, and it's been helping Cooper Rush because it's not making Cooper Rush have to make plays. Washington, on the other hand, has been allowing 128.7 yards per game. That's got to change. They did a really good job, though, against the Philadelphia Eagles last week. Let's see if they can build off of that. So we saying 100
yards. You sure? They had 170-some against the Giants last week. You don't want to maybe at 125, maybe?
You got to keep them under 100, okay?
Shout
under
out to the
100. Beard, and the last stop on the roadmap on the way to victory, you got to score early. If I'm the coaching staff and I'm coming out to center field, the 50-yard line, and I got them all black uniforms on in Texas, I feel like it's Friday Night Lights, and I feel like it's any given Sunday. And you know what I say? I say, I'm taking the ball first, and I'm going down the field in my all black and burgundy and gold uniforms, and I'm scoring a touchdown.
You know the Giants tried to do that last week too, right? Won the coin toss. We were like, we'll take the ball first. Didn't work out too well.
You want to know the difference is, though? You guys had on all white uniforms. We got on
black.
Y'all
got on all black.
We got on black.
The Bears all won today.
We got on black. So I need 2 touchdowns.
Kai's with you on that early lead, too, on the roadmap.
2 touchdowns in the first half. Nothing less. You got to have at least 2 touchdowns in the first half.
I like it.
And then last but not least, Carson Wentz has to throw the ball for over 200 yards. You know how many quarterbacks have thrown the ball over 200 yards so far this season against the Dallas Cowboys? Zero. No Joe Burrow, no Tom Brady, no Daniel Jones. But Carson Wentz is coming in them all black, burgundy and gold.
You taking the over on the 200 for Carson?
Taking the over on the 200.
I'm taking the over on the 200 too.
I'm taking all of that. You want to know why? Because I got Washington winning this game.
Ooh,
this is the last time.
The beard came out here lit.
Listen, I got so tired of Twitter. You know, like Awthentik about 2 seasons ago, Awthentik and Beard said, man, listen, man, you got to get on Twitter, man. I was like, all right, I'm going to get back into Twitter. You know, so I got back into Twitter. And now that I'm on Twitter, I see these people and I'm just like, it rubbed me the wrong way when I heard somebody say Dallas Week was dead.
Yeah,
in my mind, I could just hear Doc Walker talking to me like we were in the locker room and, you know, he's telling me to step on somebody's throat and, you know, we got to go out there and do this. You know what I'm saying? He comes with the beard analogies too. He said, you can't get somebody who's ready to fight somebody in a phone booth and then put him in the middle of the mall. I was like, man, my mind is blown. So listen, look, that's what's going down. If we follow the Beard's roadmap,
yep,
I got Washington winning this game by a final score of 24-20.
I'm digging it, bro. I'm definitely digging it. I think you presented the right roadmap. And honestly, I think y'all got the pieces to beat the Dallas Cowboys, especially with a backup quarterback at the helm. You got to get pressure on the quarterback. We failed to get pressure on him the whole day. It was only 2 pressures, no sacks. The one thing I would tell you to watch out for that you didn't mention in the roadmap, I think you got all aspects covered except the third phase of football, which is special teams. Shout out to my homie William Steele. He put me onto this, dog. Kevontae Turpin, you got to watch out for that kid. He broke the big return against us last week. Our punter made pretty much a game-saving tackle to give us a chance to be able to win that game. Turpin leads the NFL right now with 16.3 yard average on punt returns, so you got to watch out for him. The reason why I asked you to pump the brakes on the running game and how many yards you would allow from Pollard and Zeke, right now they averaging 118 yards per game. So I would say 120, 100 though. You keep them under 100, I could guarantee you will win if Washington keeps Pollard and Zeke under that 100. I will guarantee to win. I'm with you on this. I'm picking Washington in this game too. I think that the Giants kind of got a little bit surprised, kind of overlooked the backup quarterback position. The Commanders aren't going to do that. They're looking at that tape right now on Rush, and if they're looking at that tape, he's getting rid of the ball quick. So what I would do is I would definitely play very aggressive in that secondary. Try to get you that turnover, and that turnover might get you that 2-score lead that you want or them 2 touchdowns that you want by the half, because right now it seems that y'all offense is struggling to put up the points in the first half. Not as bad as my team, but y'all been struggling to put up them points a little bit in 2 out of the 3 games. Maybe you can get an interception or a fumble that'll lead you to maybe getting some early scores in this game. But I'm taking the Commanders. What was your score?
24-20.
Look, I'm gonna keep it funky with you. I'm gonna take that same exact score. I like where that's at. 24-20 sounds great. I think the Commanders gonna go out here and shock the Cowboys. And I agree with Kai too, man. It's gonna take a 2-score lead early. If you get that 2-score lead early, you're going to force Cooper Rush to have to throw the ball to beat y'all. You can't just rely on that running game when you're down by 2 scores. Even though I know the Beard, 2 scores isn't too much to keep running the ball.
Nope.
Let it get to 17. You really can't be running that ball. So I'm picking the Washington Commanders with you in this one too, man. Looks like we're in agreement here, man, on this game.
I will say one
hope
thing.
We're right.
I will say one thing. This is the last, and I'm looking at you, to my lovely people in the world of the interwebs. All of my AATB fam and friends. This will be the last time that I pick Washington to win a game that they have no business winning. Okay, so this is it. If you don't win this one, it's going to be a lot of L's coming out of the Beard. Unless, of course, they're playing like the Bears or something like that. Then they might get a W. So, yeah.
Yeah, you might.
Just going to throw that out there. So you guys know I'm not a homer. I realistically
So are you picking the Giants against the Bears the way you just disrespected the whole Chicago Bears nation, all of them. Unless you're playing the Bears.
They're gonna have to wait. They're gonna have to wait to get that information until after we do some other things. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this Washington team. I feel like this is a turning point. You're either gonna make that turn or you're gonna run out of gas. Okay, that's where we're at.
You're right about that, because y'all sitting now at 1-2. dare I say this, kind of like a must-win. You can't go out here and lose back-to-back division games. That's not going to be a good look to be sitting at 0-2 in the division. Definitely not a good look with the Cowboys on the up and up and the Eagles doing what they do. So, yeah, we're in agreement. I like that. Man. I hope that I really hope y'all come away with the victory this week, man. I saw someone in the chat say they're rooting against anybody that plays the Cowboys. I'm with you on that right now.
Monique said put a lot of faith in these black jerseys.
Yeah, you know it, dog. Black jerseys changed the whole landscape of the Albert Einstein community. I'm telling you. It was like...
That's why I started the whole show off like that. Like, this is... everything is meticulously done here at Authentic and the Beard, you know? And I'm sorry, Joe Deals. I know you're a Bears fan. I apologize, but still love you, brother.
Facts, man. All right, let's get into this Manscaped read, and then we're going to go to our trivia question. Somebody's going to win a beautiful Michael Strahan card, especially if you are a New York Giants fan. But let's get to this Manscaped read one time. We'll keep it gully with the vibes on the background music as well. Support for Awthentic and The Beard, the best division in football, is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
Bars.
Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer to you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code AATB. That's the acronym for Authentic and the Beard at manscaped.com. I wonder why they told me to say join over 6 million men worldwide. Women, y'all can get y'all womanscaped on as well, too. Ain't nothing in that package that you can't use. They got a little nose hair trimmer. I know some of y'all OGs might need that out there. You know what it is. But get your 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code AATB at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with the code AATB. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. All right, so we're going to go to a quick little commercial break one time, and when we get back, man, somebody's going to win an awesome Michael Strahan card. I just know it's going to be one of my fam in the Giants Nation, man. Y'all stay tuned, man. We'll be right back in a jiffy. That's for my man, The Beard, one time, man.
Your wide receiver on IR? Aw, shucks. Your running back keep fumbling every week? Man, damn it all. Well, come chop it up with your boys. We are waiver wire tight. Authentic and The Beard. Every Sunday morning, streaming live at 11 a.m.
Y'all know what it is, man. Check us out every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. The parlay with me and my homie, man, the left side.
Strong side.
In the building one time going over fantasy football, man. I'm trying to get back right, man. I lost 2 in a row after an opening week win, so I'm trying to get back right. Got George Kittle getting back in my lineup, but pull up on us, man. Share your fantasy lineups with us. Any questions, I'm going to need y'all help. Y'all know what it is, man. Let's cue these jazz flutes, my brother.
Jazz flutes. Trivia.
I think we're gonna work on a new trivia time graphic. I'm gonna send an email to the graphics department, which would be an email to me and The Beard. We'll get that handled, man. Today, somebody's gonna win a beautiful Michael Strahan card, or we got a couple reserves for people that aren't New York Giants fans, man. But y'all know how it is over here, man. The Giants Nation is heavy in the building over here at Authentic and The Beard. Showed the card on Twitter earlier, man. This is gonna be an NFC East driven question today. So get your Google fingers ready. Y'all know what it is, chat. Let me see some biceps in the chat before we get this popping. Let me see them bicep emojis one time, man. Left side.
Strong side. 60 in the building.
60 strong in the building, man. You know, I was going to make a joke about the gangs on the West Coast, but we're not going to go there one time. Definitely a 60 with the gang one time. I see the biceps in the chat one time. Shout out to No Mets, No Nets, No Jets, Max Webster. Book and tackles out it early one time. Roman is at it early. Chris Peace at it early. I think we got enough time. We buffered here one time to bring up this question on the screen. All right, so I'm going to tell y'all this one is a bit Super Bowl related. So if you want to jump in your chat, type Super Bowl first in your Google search bar and then get ready. All right. So maybe y'all got a little more time. Yeah, it's here. It's here. Okay. So today's trivia goes a little something like this. How many Super Bowl MVPs have been won by a quarterback from the NFC East? Get to it, chat. We will leave the question on the screen for the hearing impaired. Hopefully they can type in the chat, maybe get a W today. Last week's winner was my homie Stan, and before that we had Max Webster and we had Lax 044 take home a winning card as well. So let me know what y'all think about this one. How many Super Bowl MVPs have been won by a quarterback from the NFC East?
Whoa, man, that was crazy. It came in super fast.
I love this answer, even though it is not correct. Anything with Eli Manning, we will accept over here at Awthentik and The Beard. Shout out my homie Ben one time. Let's see. Not yet. Some good guesses, but not yet. Not yet. Shout out to BB Jones in the building. I see you, fam. How you living? Gretz with a little answer there. She says 3. Okay. Trying to get the front door delivery from the Beard one time. I think we got a winner, man. You got a winner over there, Beard?
I think so.
First, they came in fast here. All right. On my screen, I'm hoping this is correct. I think we got a winner chicken dinner from OBX Picker, who was the first person I saw with the correct answer in the chat one time. Was that first on yours?
That was first on mine.
And we've got confirmation. Shout out to OBX Picker one time in the building. Now, OBX Picker's not a New York Giants fan, though, is he?
Nope. He is a Miami Dolphins fan.
I know you got something fresh for OBX Picker. I know Miami Dolphins wasn't on deck, but they are playing in tonight's game. That might have made some sense. Look at the Beard looking over to his left like, do I got something? Beard,
I got something for him. I got something for him.
I got you, man. That's what's up, man. Well, shout out to OBX Picker.
We will be sending OBX Picker a Miami Dolphins Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Waddle, some sort of Miami Dolphins rookie card will be coming your way. Shout out to Eric OBX Picker. That's my buddy.
Like that. That's kind of good because now we can save that Michael Strahan for one more week. We got the push on the Michael Strahan card. So next week, Giants fans, y'all tune in. And I tell you what, I'm going to make it a Michael Strahan-driven trivia question next week so that we can almost ensure we don't get another push on that because that Michael Strahan card was super pretty. I was really ready to get that one away.
Gold. It's a gold medallion edition.
Let me see that
card.
Okay, so next week we got somebody winning that one. Shout out to OBX Picker though one time, man. It's amazing to see that our OGs are winning the trivia. I like that the day ones, they kind of know the vibes over here at Awthentik and The Beard. They kind of in sync with us. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of how we did them stats earlier with Jalen Hurts and Trevor Lawrence, man. But shout out to OBX Picker one time, man, for winning that. That's amazing, man. That's the third. This is our third week straight doing trivia, I believe, or fourth.
That's our fourth week. We've given something away every episode on Thursday nights now.
Yeah, so we had the Tiki Barber, we had the Hakeem Nicks, and we had, was it an Eli Manning?
It was.
And an Eli Manning. And now we're going to have either a Tua or a Jalen Waddle rookie card. Yeah. Shout out to Over the Years Sports for sponsoring this segment on Awthentik and The Beard, man. That's love, man. The Beard definitely be collecting all that fire over there, and we definitely appreciate you lending that to our community over here, man. And, you know, these fans can actually do some, win some prizes over here that are actually worthy, man. We're not giving away no Joker-type prizes. You know, we're giving away some good stuff over here. So salute to OBX Picker, man. It's awesome. He got to win that card. And as the Jazz flutes fade away, let's get off into this game between my New York Giants and, according to you, easy W for anybody in the NFL. The Bears are headed to MetLife Stadium to take on my New York Giants, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Giants Nation in the building, man. The Bears are coming in at a surprising 2-1. And the New York Giants had a bit of a surprising 2-1. The Beard got me moving all over the place right now. But opening line has the Giants right now at favored by 3.5, according to FanDuel right now. The last meeting between these two teams, the Bears beat the Giants 29-3 on January 2nd. That game was in Chicago. Last week, the Bears beat the Texans 23-20, and the Giants took that L, man, to the Dallas Cowboys, man. That was a heartbreaker, man, because Daniel Jones played his heart out in that game, man. He definitely balled out. And I do want to bring up Daniel Jones' stats from last week on the screen here one time. 196 passing yards. He was 20 of 37. He had 0 touchdowns, 1 late interception when David Sills ended up falling on an inside route. QBR 41. 0.6, not too great. These statistics don't tell the full story. Daniel Jones definitely used his legs to convert a lot of first downs in this game. And I'm looking for a little bit more of that against the Bears, man. It seems like we got two quarterbacks that are going to be, labeled as, are these teams moving on from these quarterbacks soon, man? We're going to see, man. That's really what it is.
That's an interesting topic of conversation, obviously. But more so, I mean, the Justin Fields talk is just, it's early, I feel like still. We got to give him a little bit of more time, right? But I think
quarterbacks like, you know what? No, I'm not going to say you do. I think that now we're giving quarterbacks on that rookie contract does not mean you deserve 4 years because you were drafted in the first round and you on a rookie deal. It doesn't mean that. We need to be able to assess these quarterbacks fast and make a move on them fast, to be honest. I'm not saying don't give them their fair shot, but when you look at these Justin Fields numbers right now, and I was one who said the weapons over there were not that terrible entering the year because of Darnell Mooney. I thought Darnell Mooney was going to be a guy in this offense, but right now, I mean, Justin Fields, he looks very bad. He ranks last in the NFL right now in attempts, in completions, in completion rate, in yards, and
everything.
In quarterback rating. He has twice as many interceptions as he does touchdowns right now. Now, Daniel Jones is playing a bit of better football than Justin Fields, I will say that. But these are the two most pressured quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Justin Fields is being pressured on 54% of his dropbacks, and Daniel Jones being pressured on 41% of his dropbacks. Now, Daniel Jones is not making a lot of those mistakes that we're accustomed to seeing him make in the first couple of years in his career. Right now, only has 2 interceptions on the year, but he hasn't breached 200 passing yards in 3 games now in 2022. That's something right there has got to change. Posted a clip from Colin Cowherd on our Tuesday recap show. And, yeah, there were some things in that clip that you could disagree with as far as his assessment of Daniel Jones. But the one thing that I think you can't disagree with is he's not putting up touchdowns, and you got to find a way to put up touchdowns. The weapons are lacking. The offensive line has not been playing great ball. We know that. Evan Neal's having a struggle start to his career. We've seen that. The first 2 games didn't show it as, drastically as this last game did against the Dallas Cowboys, who have an excellent front, and it showed. DeMarcus Lawrence was beating down Evan Neal in that game. Andrew Thomas came out this week. He said he had a talk with Evan Neal and let him know that, everything that you're doing right now, you're putting on tape, and teams are going to be looking at that. So you have to have a strong performance so that these teams don't capitalize on that. Now, the Giants offense right now is being led by Richie James right now as far as 14 receptions and 146 yards. Shepard was leading the New York Giants in yardage at 154, which was just a little bit over what Richie James has put on paper so far. Losing Sterling Shepard to the year is not only going to be a detriment to the New York Giants, but what really blew me about that was he was so close right now to tying Jeremy Shockey for 5th all-time on the New York Giants list. He was 9 receptions away from Jeremy Shockey, and he was 28 receptions away from Odell Beckham. I thought that was extremely surprising, man. Odell just lit it up his first 3 years in New York.
It was crazy.
I wouldn't have thought. I know Sterling Shepard has been here for a longer tenure, but I thought, he'd be a little bit farther off than just 28 receptions from Odell Beckham Jr. So I think that, when it all goes down, Sterling Shepard would be a guy that a lot of New York Giants fans forget about because during his tenure, the thing that most people are going to remember is the losses. That was a whole rebuild. It was a 2-time rebuild when you talk about dating back to Gettleman and even dating back to Reese when Sterling Shepard was drafted, and then now we got Joe Shane. We're hoping that things kind of turn around, but I hope that Sterling Shepard could find a way to just get back healthy and get back on the football field, even if it's not in the New York Giants uniform. I think he's a very capable wide receiver. It's just about if he can bounce back from this injury and get back to his old ways. Now, we know with the Chicago Bears, really you got to stop the running game. David Montgomery has been a pivotal piece normally in their running game. He's also struggled to stay healthy, and last week he struggled to stay healthy in that game, and Khalil Herbert came out, man, and balled out.
Guy.
He gained 157 yards. That was a career high for him on 20 carries. The Giants gave up 176 yards on the ground last week to the Cowboys on Monday night. So this is going to be a tall task, and I think that's what will keep the Bears in this game is that if they can run the ball like teams have been able to have success against the New York Giants, it'll keep them in the game, and it'll keep our quarterback on the sideline. The Bears rushed for 281 yards last week. It's the most since Walter Payton was in the league.
Which is crazy to me because you think about it, they've had some guys over there. Matt Forte was there for a little while. Yep. Jordan Howard was there. They probably have had better running backs over the last 20
Cohen
years.
was over there, and I think their best shot was to do it with Tariq Cohen and David Montgomery because we can't forget that 281 yards came out of 2 players. It wasn't
Yeah.
just one. Yeah, 157 came from Khalil Herbert, but 281 yards total. You're getting some of that from the quarterback. You're getting some of that from Montgomery before he goes down in this game. Whereas in 1984, it was just Walter Payton getting the bulk load of the carries.
Yeah.
If Gale Sayers would have maybe found a way to stay healthy, maybe you could have did the little tandem vibe there, because Gale Sayers is one of the best running backs to have his career cut short. I'd put him up there with a Bo Jackson as far as the career getting cut short. But the Giants going to have to find a way to stop Khalil Herbert. I mean, I hope they're looking at the tape. And our defense, last week, they didn't play that. They didn't fare that well against the Dallas Cowboys. We got gashed in the run. I talked about if the Cowboys were going to beat us, it was going to take a great performance out of Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard. They were going to have to outrush Saquon Barkley and the rest of this rushing game from the New York Giants. And that's exactly what they did. And the Cowboys, they if they could have capitalized on some other opportunities, especially that CeeDee Lamb drop, they might have walked all over the New York Giants. But the Giants defense, we know, man, it's a bend, don't break style type defense. They send a lot of pressure after the quarterback, which we didn't see last week in that game. There were some freeze frames going around Twitter, going around the internet, where there was literally no one in the backfield on certain plays. They got to find a way to get pressure on the quarterback right now. O'Shane Ximines is leading the Giants in sacks right now with 1. We got to change that. Julian Love's doing a good job on the back end making tackles. He had 14 tackles on Monday, but
he's
I don't want to
playing
see
his
that.
best football right now, I think.
He is, and I talked about his name, being not called out a lot this season, which that means he's playing well. The 14 tackles is obviously a standout on our defense as far as last week goes, but that just means that they're getting to the second level.
Yeah.
I don't want to see teams getting to that second level. And Darnell Mooney has a lot to do with why that Chicago Bears offense is not clicking. Last season, Mooney was a guy, I even said he's looking like a person on the up and up. He could be a wide receiver 1, 81 receptions last year for 1,055 yards. And that was just his second season. And now, 3 weeks in, he's got 4 receptions, 27 yards.
Their leading receiver is Equanimeous St. Brown.
Oh, yeah, and he's been showing up a little bit.
7 yards.
He's been showing up a little bit. Seems like every time his brother makes a big play on red zone, then he's making a big play on red zone. But he's obviously not a pivotal piece in the offense, so that's probably why.
3 weeks into the season, and, your leading receiver is 77 yards.
Yeah, I'm a New York Giants fan. Our leading receiver last year was Kenny Galladay with 520, I believe it was. It's this is a matchup between two teams that really ain't that good. These two teams really aren't that good. I feel great about the Giants' record, and I'm sure that the Chicago Bears fans feel the exact same way. They're like, we're 2-1, man. Couldn't ask for more during a rebuild here. They don't got a ton of weapons over there on the offensive side of the ball. This was crazy to me that, I scooped up Cole Kmet on my fantasy team when Kittle was having troubles for 1 week. And I didn't really look into the numbers that much. I just looked at it like Cole Kmet was doing pretty decent last year.
Notre Dame.
But 2 receptions, bro. That's all he had. Entering last week, he had 2 receptions for 40 yards. I'm like, okay, no wonder this offense really ain't moving, man. But you also got to watch out for the Bears defense, man. Roquan Smith, man, been balling out. He had 16 tackles and an interception versus the Houston Texans last week. What I think about in this game is 2 things. Who's going to run the ball better? Whose defense going to play better? I'm worried. The Bears defense looks like they're all right. They've kept their team in some close games. Granted, one of them was an ugly monsoon game against the San Francisco 49ers where they came out with a win. They're saying that there's supposed to be rain on Sunday at MetLife, so I'm hoping that it's not one of these kind of games, because if it's ugly weather-wise, I think it gives the Bears a better chance, better shot to win the game. And their safety, Eddie Jackson, he's been playing pretty decent ball too. He had an interception last week in the end zone, and that those red zone interceptions are such game-shifting plays, man. So for me, it's like the Giants got to play clean football. I want to see Daniel Jones go out here, elevate your play again, raise the level of your play again. I think last week he showed a gutsy performance that showed that he was at least game to try to raise his play. But that offensive line's got to show up. If you want to see Daniel Jones breach 200 yards passing, that offensive line's going to have to show up, man. And so far, man, it's been the first week or the first half of the first 3 weeks of this season. The Giants offensively have looked like one of the worst football teams in the NFL. They tend to get it together later on and rely on the running game a little bit more in the second half. But I told you this on Tuesday's recap show. The first 2 weeks of the year that Saquon Barkley only has 11 carries in the first half of the first 2 games. That's outrageous. Brian Dable, Mike Kafka, y'all got to find a way to get the ball in Saquon Barkley's hands in the first half. And I think Richie James is another guy that you got to find a way. With Wan'Dale Robinson being banged up, with Kadarius Toney, we don't even know what's going on with this hamstring. You got to find a way to get the ball into your playmakers' hands. Right now, we don't got too many playmakers. Right now, it's Saquon Barkley and it's Richie James. And I think you also got to find a way to get Darius Slayton more involved in this offense. I mentioned the smash concept that Bobby was talking about on his breakdown on Twitter. You got to find a way to get more plays like that, lined up. And don't just bring Darius Slayton into the game for these kind of gadget plays. Same thing goes for Kadarius Toney when he gets healthy. Find a way to get them, implemented in this offense in other ways and then open up and try to get the big play. But, maybe you got to move Daniel Jones off a spot, roll him out the pocket. We saw it with Pat Shurmur a lot in 2019. They ran a lot of flood concepts with Pat Shurmur where they would roll Daniel Jones out of the pocket to buy him a little bit more time. But you got to figure out by any means necessary of how to get this kid some time to throw the ball, because when Daniel Jones has time, and this was one thing Colin Cowherd said on that take I thought that was spot on, is he's one of the kind of quarterbacks that if you give him time, he's going to be able to do all the things you want your starting quarterback to do. But right now, it seems Daniel Jones just don't got time, and they got to find a way to fix that.
It's almost like we're talking about Washington all over again in the certain
I know, right?
sense of the word. But big shout out to E. Lavon 84 for the $4.99
That's
super
another
chat.
homie from William Steele's channel,
Yeah.
man. Appreciate you pulling up. I know we've been butchering your name, yo. I'm gonna just call you 84. We're gonna call you 84 till I know better. Maybe you give me the proper enunciation in the chat.
Because see, I'm thinking it's L like the, because the E and the L are capitalized, right? So maybe it's L Avon 84, like Avon
I'm gonna take
Barkley.
the under on that. I'm gonna take the under on the L Avon. I'm gonna think it's
Avon, it's like Avon, like Avon.
Right, I'm taking the under.
I said
understand
Avon
it.
Barkley, Avon
Like
Barksdale.
Avon, the products my mom used to hustle back in the day, trying to make a little passive income. I'm gonna say it's E. Lavon, but I'm going 84 from here on out. I know he's gonna tell us in the chat, but definitely appreciate that super chat.
Says not able to chop it up with a friendly ops today. Still dropping a like and some coins. Salute. Signed, the sober Cowboys fan. Hey, congratulations from a sober Washington fan.
Facts. Salute to you, 84, man. We appreciate you pulling up, man. New subscriber, already donating to the channel, man. That means a lot. Your presence just popping in means more. But we definitely appreciate that super chat, man. That goes a long way for this channel, man. You already know over here we got to pay the graphics department. We got to pay the sound department. We got to pay the 2 hosts one time. You know what I'm saying? We got to pay the servers.
Somebody said we
YouTube
needed makeup.
taking a cut.
Somebody said they needed makeup. So I guess we got to hire a makeup artist or something.
Pump the brakes on that, man. I'm a little bit too much of a real bro to be having somebody up here on me. All right.
Okay,
I mean,
listen.
for 39 years old and 38 years old, I think we look pretty decent up here, right?
Listen, we look damn good.
Hey,
damn
man,
good,
thank you, Beard. I appreciate that,
Shout out
man.
to you. But listen, as much as you want to talk about the Giants offense, they look like, they look like the greatest show on turf compared to the Bears.
Shout out my guy, El
Shout out
Jefe in the building,
Jefe.
man. Dropped a new video today, too, man. Go check out his channel, man. Hilarious content over there directed towards the New York Giants, too.
So the Bears offense is horrible. It's the worst. It's the worst offense in the National Football League right now. Okay. Now, the New York Giants, as bad as their offense might be, okay, you're able to run the ball. You're fourth in the National Football League in running. Chicago Bears, you know what they are in run defense?
Run defense, I'm going to say they're around 26.
30th.
Eesh.
Damn near the worst. So you got you that's your in right there. That's your in. Saquon Barkley taking it to the Chicago Bears defense, okay? And then you talked about stopping the run because, you guys are fourth. The Bears are second in running in the National Football League. And last game, you guys gave up what?
Quarterbacks definitely helping that out a good bit, too.
Yeah, you guys gave up 176 yards last week to the Cowboys. And listen, the big thing here for the New York Giants, okay? Giving you guys a little bit of a mini roadmap here.
I like this. Suggested route.
Suggested route. If you take this route, it'll probably be about 5 minutes quicker.
Might save a couple minutes, right?
Okay. 0 turnovers. If you really dig in to the Chicago Bears wins, their wins have happened because of untimely, costly turnovers by their opposing teams, which allowed them to sneak away with victories. Happened last week. Davis Mills threw the interception to Roquan Smith, completely changed the game at the end of the game there. In a game against the 49ers turned the ball over, I want to say 3 times, in that monsoon game. Both of Chicago's games that they won They won off of getting those turnovers, and they were at the inopportune time for the opposing team, but great time for the Chicago Bears. So you really, and you know, we talked about the red zone sort of turnovers. You got like that will be a killer in this game. So just 0 turnovers. Don't turn the ball over. You don't necessarily have to. I hate what all these people say. Listen, a win is a win. Okay?
A win is a win.
I don't care if it looks good, if it looks ugly, okay? Because wins get you into the playoffs, and sometimes you got to win ugly. The ugly wins are what builds character when it comes to teams winning in the long term in the National Football League. Because eventually you hope that you can get the offense clicking or the defense clicking. So in the beginning of the season, you want to take these wins no matter how you can get them. And I mean, like Justin Fields is averaging 15 passes a game.
Yeah, he's definitely not throwing the ball too much. And this is a scary number I saw today, too. First off, they're averaging 78 passing yards a game, bro. That is not it. And then the other stat.
That's JV. That's Pop Warner.
Dog, that's really bad. And this one is extremely bad. Justin Fields has the lowest amount of yards through 3 games since 1975, bro. The lowest. Right now he has a grand total of 297 yards in 3 games passing. The last quarterback to do that was the dude Bartkowski back in 1975, bro.
I was gonna say Bartkowski. That's if it ain't an Orlovsky or a Gronkowski, and it's a Bartkowski. I mean, that sounds like a guy
who was
who
it
played
that pulled the Orlovsky in the back of the end zone? Garoppolo. It would be Garoppolo, man. Come on, Jimmy. Dang. I had this girl who was serving me and Muhammad drinks the other day, right? And like anytime Jimmy G came up on the screen, she'd be like, Jimmy. Because she was just like, she's so attracted to Jimmy G. But Justin Fields,
I mean,
bro.
listen, Jimmy Garoppolo is, that's a strapping young man there. He's no Beard or Authentic, but I mean, he's a distant third as far as, handsome men go.
Yeah, Jimmy G, he might have a career in acting when his football career is done. But, man, 297 yards, bro, through 3 games. If I'm a Bears fan right now, I'm very upset. You traded up, with the Giants to draft this kid. I mean, you wasted draft capital on him. We pretty much have Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau because of it. And you stuck with Justin Fields right now at 297 yards, 78 yards passing per game, bro. When you just see some numbers that just make you go like, oh, like, how is that even possible? Like, how is that even possible? It's kind of like the Giants one, right? The Giants have not scored a first half touchdown in 8 straight weeks. What's worse? You tell. Which one is worst?
What's your? I can't go into last season because last season was just it. But yes, we're gonna go 8 straight weeks without
without a touchdown in the first half, or 297 passing yards for the first 3 games of the year.
297 passing. Because listen, if you would have said no touchdown at all 8 straight weeks, I'd say that. Yeah, but
facts.
First half touchdowns. Listen, games are won, and that's why they play 2 halves of football.
I give you that.
But 297 yards passing in 2022. I mean, listen, those sound like single bar face mask passing numbers.
They do. They really do. That's like, I mean, it was 1975. He probably had 2 bars. Might have 2 bars.
That's like a guy who was on the front of the car like this trying to throw the ball.
The Al Bundy show. Straight up.
Oh man, listen, it's gonna be a sloppy game. It's going to be a sloppy game.
So are we the suggested route? We got them all, or?
I think we got it all. Listen. No turnovers. Run the damn ball. Yep. Stop the run.
RTDB.
Yes. We got to get some AATB, RTDBs, dual logo hats.
Some little graphics, yeah.
And then it's obviously protecting Daniel Jones. This is so similar to Washington. And it's because, you guys have given up the 3rd most sacks of anybody in the National Football League. 13 sacks. Daniel Jones has been sacked 13 times. And the Chicago Bears are 8th in the NFL in quarterback pressures. So.
Yeah, we're not up there in that 8th. So they got a better chance of getting pressure on the quarterback. I definitely feel you on that. So hopefully the game plan calls for some quick passing. We'll see.
And I think, Thibodeau, after getting that first game, because a lot of people don't realize, it's not just his first game, right? NFL game. It's his first NFL game coming off of an injury. Like, yeah. You're a little bit reluctant.
I will say this, though. Seeing him in preseason, and then seeing him after the injury, there doesn't seem to be a big regression. He looks healthy now, which I'm happy about that. It's just about getting to that quarterback now.
I saw him back there. It wasn't like he was getting close. You know what I'm saying? So just a couple little, and then we'll get some sacks. Yeah.
Get low to the ground. Come on, man.
What did you call it? The motorcycle turn sack?
Motorcycle lean, man. You gotta
motorcycle lean.
You gotta lean. Yeah, you gotta lean, bro. You gotta lean.
And then rock.
Shout out to Young Dro. He said. Like if you just tuned in and you just saw that, you was probably like, what the hell is going on this show, man? Nah, but you got a score prediction for me though?
I do. And listen, I scratched it out. The spiral has a scratch out here, okay? Because I said, look, I can't give you guys. Is
that 26-15?
It was 19-13, and I scratched it out and I put 26-13. I said, you know what? Daniel Jones is gonna have a game. 26-13, like New York Football Giants over the Chicago Bears.
26-13, right?
Yep.
Man, look, I'm gonna just try to, I talked to my homie Big Pat one time, right? And he talked to me about speaking things into existence, man. I'm gonna try to speak this one into existence. This is gonna be a big game for Daniel Jones. It's gonna be his biggest game of the first 4 weeks of the season so far. He's gonna breach not only 200, he's gonna breach 250 in this game. I know that don't sound like that much, but when you're a Giants fan, that's a lot.
Baby steps.
And I think that we're gonna win this game convincingly. I think the Giants are gonna win this one 27-13.
Hey man, we're like right around the same
You're right about that.
again. Shout out to Sebastian for the $1.99 super chat. Says Giants need to sign destroying to run routes.
Maybe a little bit of typo in there. Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe that's like a guy that we don't know about. A wrestler, maybe.
Destroying. I'm trying to decipher this one. You like that? I'm trying to decipher this joint right here. So Giants need to sign, and it's a funny thing too. So it's a funny thing. Sebastian, you got to help me out on this one. We can't have him here all day. I know kickoff is at 8:15 now with Amazon Prime.
Yeah, they ruined our time.
Yeah, they definitely been ruining that. Took away 15 minutes away from the show and whatnot. But shout out to the homie Sebastian one time, man, for that $2 super chat, bro. We definitely appreciate that, my guy. Let's get our picks in for this last one, man, and get the folks up out of here, man, so they can go start their week 4 NFL, man. And I'm looking forward to this one too, man. These weeks just been flying on me, man, and I'm not mad at it. The only thing is, like, I just don't want the whole football season to feel like a blur, and like look back and be like, dang, man, we ain't make the playoffs, and every week just went by super fast, man. But we'll see how it goes, man. I'm looking for some continuous wins by my New York Giants, and I want consistency at the quarterback position. I'm gonna leave that one right there. So let's get off into this Thursday night football matchup one time, man. This one's going to be between the Dolphins and the Bengals. Shout out to the graphics, the apartment one time. I know the Bengals are going to be wearing that white tonight. They didn't take that into consideration, but that thing looking real fresh, man. Beard, what you got on this one, man? You can make it quick and then give me a score prediction for this one between the Dolphins and Joe Burrow and those Bengals one time.
So Kai says Destroying was a YouTuber who lost his NCAA scholarship because he was making money from YouTube.
Oh, I think I remember that cat, man. Didn't he like run up against like Tyreek Hill in a race or something like that? I think I do remember him. He was a player and he had a big YouTube channel.
Listen, this game is going to be fantastic, I hope. It's two of the best young quarterbacks. It's two of the best young wide receivers, and then you're mixing in a bunch of other really good guys. Joe Mixon on the Bengals side, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and then the Dolphins got, of course, Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins defense looked a lot better last week against the Buffalo Bills, which made me almost pick the Miami Dolphins. And I really want to pick the Dolphins. I really do. But listen, the Cincinnati Bengals coming out in their icy whites with the black stripes.
Hard to lose.
And Joe Burrow.
Icy whites with the black stripes. That's the beginning of like a Biggie verse or something.
That's bars right there. And so, I feel like the Bengals they're gonna make that next step to getting back to where they need to be in this season. It's gonna be a close game though, but I like the Bengals to win this one by a last-second field goal. I'm going to go 27-24 Bengals.
Ooh, I like the score you got there, too, because I do think that both these teams are going to put up a lot of points. If the Dolphins come out anything like they came out last week, the Bengals going to be in trouble. It all depends on if that offense is clicking, man. Jalen Waddle, man, he is a combination receiver like no other, man. He can do all the possession stuff that all the great possession receivers have done with volume, with the targets, but then he can also make the big play and take the top off of defenses. We already know what Tyreek Hill can do, man. He can definitely be a nightmare matchup for defenses. I think this is going to be a close game, man. I think the Bengals are definitely going to give them a run for their money because the Bengals trying to show out and prove, but I'm going to take the Dolphins in this one. I'm going to take the Dolphins 28-21.
It's going to be an interesting game. And just in time, big
man.
shout outs to the guy, the man, Tuto! Put a $4.99 super chat. I'm sorry I couldn't slap the stinky birds last weekend, but massive salute, Awthentik and Tim. And for all diehard Giants in America, slap all stinky Boyds, losers, and F the cowards all day long. High five, Italy.
High five Italy. During the Giant reaction, I couldn't remember the way you say those two emojis. High five Italy, man. Shout out to my homie Tudo one time, man. The #1 supporter in the Giants community, man. We appreciate you pulling up, dropping that $4.99 super chat on your boys, man. That's major over here. You know what it is, man. Right at the end of the show, man. That's like a last-minute touchdown right there from Tudo, man. Salute to you, my guy. For the win. FTW. So, look, I'm going to keep this short right here. Beard, get it ready to go. We don't want to take too much of y'all time. Y'all know what it is over here at Awthentik and The Beard, man. Keep raising that bar. Keep living those dreams. We going to see y'all on Sunday on the parlay. Y'all be good. Enjoy y'all week of football.